Hi, and welcome to the Kelly Kitley podcast, America's Social Worker Unfiltered, where every week I have hopeful, honest, and deeply human conversations with change makers. And today I have Biet Simkin, who is a spiritual guru, a spiritual maximist, a best-selling author of Don't Just Sit There. She's a musician. She wrecked my world when I first met her at the She Recovers retreat in Los Angeles in a group meditation with about a couple hundred women. And she popped up in my Instagram feed recently, and I reached out to her and she said yes immediately. And this just speaks to the work that she does. So thank you so much for being here, Biet. I just want to introduce you to all the people who listen because I believe your work is so transformative.
Thank you so much, Kelly. Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you so much for having me.
Of course. And I thought on 11 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Central time, we could start off with you sharing your voice. You have such an impact in music, and it has been something that is very healing to me in my own recovery journey and movement. And so I thought that would be a great opener for everybody to hear your beautiful voice.
Thank you so much. I'll totally sing, and before I do, I think I came to this planet to teach people um, what it means to transform all the pain inside of us. And I just want you to know and the audience to know that before I sing, there's a voice that speaks to me and it says, "You don't get to sing. It doesn't matter if you sing." And so, for anyone listening who is an artist, I just want you to know that it takes so much courage to be an artist on this planet and to be yourself on this planet. I do not take that opportunity lightly. And I also don't, I think it's a literal miracle if anyone gets to be an artist on this planet because that voice, it's in everybody's head. And the better you are at singing, the louder that voice is. The better you are at whatever art you bringing to the world, the louder that voice gets. And the closer you are with getting the branding and the marketing and the clarity of purpose and the statement and whatever you're sharing with the world, the louder that voice gets.
Mm.
Because it's there to serve you. It's not there to stop you.
Mm.
It seems like it is, but it's not. So I just want to share that before I sing. And then here we go.
And you know what? My husband's an actor, and you know, in a season of a lot of rejection, and it's highs and lows and feast and famine, and so um, I think that that message is really important within our own household today too. So thank you for saying that. It's really powerful.
Yay. All
So
right,
I'm just going
everyone.
to go ahead and
Yeah.
close my eyes, and I
Okay.
encourage people who are listening as you sing for us. I mean, this song that I came across you singing on your Instagram feed to your daughter, who passed away at 4 months to sudden infant death syndrome. And it just radiated throughout my body. So I'm just going to sit and listen.
Awesome. All right, guys. I'm sending a prayer out to everyone listening. May this remind you of what a miracle you are. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, now I'm found, was blind, but now I see, was grace that taught my heart to sing, and grace that pulled me through. How precious is this life I live, this grace it pulled through.
Thank you, Biet.
Thank you, Kelly.
So I think we should probably start today with something you said in your book, that our souls are starved.
Yeah.
How do we feed it? How do we feed our souls? How do we have an awakening? I know this is a loaded question in a 30-minute interview, but
Hmm.
you have experienced deep emotional pain that you have transformed into what we just experienced in your voice. Mind, body, soul. And the soul is usually the last thing that we feed. Can you take us through some steps of what we can do on a daily basis to feed our soul?
Yeah. Um, wow. Feed your soul. Okay. Well, the first thing you want to know about feeding your soul is to understand that impressions and high concepts, spiritual concepts, taking in spiritual literature, listening to beautiful music, eating a gorgeous meal, sharing time with a friend or your family. These are opportunities for us to have our soul feed on life.
Mm,
But the thing that prevents people from allowing that is the mechanics of our being go to feed first, right? So the intellect will go to feed,
mhm,
and reason will go to feed, and fear will go to feed, doubt will go to feed. Those things get fed first. And that's fine. I'm not saying I'm not going to feed my body or I'm not going to feed my mind. It's just you have to wait a little bit longer for the miracle to occur. You have to allow for that space, that silence. This is why one of the arts that I have brought to the world is meditation, because there's nothing more important than the silence and that stillness that allows you to ask, who am I? Who would I be if I was the kind of person who fed my soul?
wow. So you talk about this component of not talking, but speaking and getting quiet. And so many of us are so afraid of being still because of what can come up. And when I introduce meditation to people, in being present and mindful and slowing down in this fast paced world, it's along a spectrum, right? So, like, something that you teach people too is to meditate in transition, like when you go to open the door, or when you go to make your coffee, or these simplistic things that we do on a daily basis to
Yeah.
live in our life, going into the shower, transitioning from my basement where I'm seeing clients upstairs to my four kids,
Mm.
that those can be very conscious shifts that happen. And I think a lot of the people listening have a lot on their plate and are working and having children and families and are like, you're asking me to meditate? Where can I fit that in? So somebody who doesn't have the experience, where can they start?
Well, I teach a tool in my book, Don't Just Sit There, which you have called divided attention. And divided attention comes from, I'm a master of this work called the fifth way, which is something that I bring to the world. And the fifth way is a form of meditation and a form of, let's say, awakening that is for the person that you just described. It is designed
Mhm.
for the person who works, has children, buys real estate, loves fashion, loves lattes, prefers a life with distractions rather
Mhm.
than the monk's life living in a monastery somewhere where they have given up desire. My fifth way process is actually for the person who loves desire enough to face it,
Mm.
right? And
Mhm.
so I'll talk about divided attention, but first I want to go to a story from the Bible, which is for me the oracle of transforming Western mysticism is
Mhm.
very important. I love Eastern mysticism, and honestly, all mysticism is the same. But as a person who grew up in a Judeo Christian world,
Mhm.
it is so incredibly delicious to be able to transmute the stuff that we've obviously seen politicized and turned into something that
Mhm.
most people are not fans of,
Mhm.
and but go to the core of the teachings, right, of Christ or of Moses. And
Mhm.
so anyway, I just wanted to speak to, there's this moment in the Torah where Moses encounters God, and God is facing Moses with his back. And Moses says, why are you turned away from me? And God says, you can't handle all this beauty. So I'm just doing this to protect you.
Mm.
And I think about our world and the amount of buffers that we put between bliss and ourselves. Just think of all the choices that we make in a day. How often are we prioritizing bliss? How often are we willing to prioritize bliss, even if it means it's risky? It's
Mhm.
risky to prioritize bliss. And my husband was just talking to me about this downstairs because we work together. We have a group that meets online with us. And he said, how do you even explain what you have created? Like he's very like type A, he's a teacher. He teaches like real things. He deals in the world of reality. And I'm like out here like it's real, mystical where I come from and where I teach from. He's like, you never make much sense. You say things that are all over the place. How? How do you command these rates? How did you command all this press? How did you command all these stages that you've spoken on? How?
Mhm.
When there's no rhyme or reason, it's literally made of magic. And the truth is, it's because I believe in bliss. And I believe in bliss, and I think in a way that every single person does. But I'm just willing to fucking say so. I'm willing to do things and say things out loud that most people are like, we don't do that.
Like
That's not
what?
allowed. Um, well, how I started my career. I was like, okay, I had no money. I didn't know what I was doing. I
Yes.
was recently a heroin addict. I was broke. I had been shoplifting.
Mhm.
I mean, I really have a very dark, poverty laden past. Everyone in my family died, including my baby.
Except, pause, your father was a shaman.
Yeah, and my father was this Russian mystic. I've been crying all morning.
I love
I
it. What
j-
are they tears of?
joy, but also like unfathomable. Like I just feel the audacity of myself today. Like some days it hurts being me. And I want to admit that because I feel like people come to me because they feel like, oh, well, she's found enlightenment. She knows the secret. How did she do this? How is she so resilient? What's the secret? What's the secret? You know what the secret is? The secret is that like one time a month or one time every 2 months, I literally just want to die. That's the secret. And the rest of the time, I float around like a magical being. But there's a price for that. I'm not
Mhm.
free
Mhm.
100% of the time. I
Mhm.
go through like a chrysalis kind of period, and it's so incredibly painful.
Mm.
But I'm willing to take that pain, and I'm willing. to do the work to transmute it into something beautiful. I'm willing to do that.
Well, you have, which is why I love that you're sharing this with us. I mean, in the rooms of recovery, it's like find people who have something that you want, right?
Mm,
And I
mm.
interrupted you because I got so excited about your dad.
It's okay.
But you were saying you created something from rock bottom, right?
From nothing,
Hmm.
from nothing. And so you said how you asked me a question, which is what if, right? So I was like, oh, I'm going to bring meditation. I'm going
Yeah.
to create a meditation sequence. This is before anyone had done anything like this. And I'm going to bring it to New York City art galleries. And I'm going to fuse the worlds of culture
Hmm.
and sophistication and money and
Hmm.
art and
Hmm.
high art with this thing that had only really been done in yoga studios and monasteries and ashrams before.
Hmm.
And I was like, I'm going to bring these worlds together. And I remember I was speaking to a woman. She is someone who was a student of my father's for many years. And, there was a lot of these people, the disciples that he
Hmm.
left behind that were like very concerned about me because I was a drug addict and I was like just a lunatic. And they were like, what's going to happen to this girl? Like she is gonna collect, like she's going nowhere. She's a
And are you
crazy person.
24 at this age or?
I was 29 when I got sober, 17 years ago, and I was 33 when I started my career. So 4 years later,
Okay.
I started my career. And for the
Okay.
first 4 years of my sobriety, I just kind of like wandered around looking at buildings and writing poetry in poverty.
Uh-huh.
And, blissed out, but very like confused about what I was going to, how I
Yeah.
was going to monetize that or bring it to the world. Anyway, this vision came, and I'd been doing divided attention. So I'll tie it back to divided
Okay,
attention.
awesome.
But the vision came and it said, you're a spiritual teacher and you need to do this thing. And so I did it. And I swear to you, I was talking to this disciple of my father's, and she said, you need to go back to college. You need to get a degree in like some kind of trade, and you need to blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, I'm going to do this meditation thing. And she said, meditation doesn't make money. And I was like, oh, no, the way I'm going to do it is going to make money. And I just want to be very clear that I went from earning $1,000 a month to making $1 million a year, working like 20 hours a month, doing whatever the fuck I wanted to do. No one knows how I did it. No one understands, including my husband. He's like, I have no idea how you created what you created.
And he's
So
also in recovery, right?
he's, yeah, 25 years
Oh
sober.
my
Yeah.
gosh. Okay. So the
And he's
miracles.
a beacon. Yeah, he's a beacon of light. He's a miracle himself, but he still doesn't get my version of the
Okay.
miracle. He's like, Biet, you are a Care Bear from outer space. Like, I have no idea what you're doing. Like, no one understands.
I
Anyway, to
should have
tie it back to
introduced
divided
you.
attention,
I
in
should have
case you're listening
introduced
to
you
this,
like that. A Care Bear from outer space.
that is my title, Care Bear from outer space. So for your audience, and Kelly, you're asking, what do you do, right? Divided attention. So what I did when I had no money and I was a heroin addict and I was walking around 98 pounds, my life was destroyed. I didn't know how I was going to pay my rent. Everyone was dead. My father had just died too. He was the last one to go. He died when I was 28, wandering around New York City. And I started doing divided attention, which is this ritual created from my lineage, right? Which I call fifth way.
Mhm.
And what you do is you just float above yourself and see yourself in third person as you go through life. You do it while you board the subway, you do it while you talk to people, you do it again and again, and you divide your attention. So you have one attention on you and one attention on the person you're looking at, or one attention on the thing you're doing. And I did this every day as much as I could, which, by the way, it's hard to remember to do it, right? It's a
Right.
meditation in of itself just to remember. But I would remember and do it. And eventually I floated above myself and I saw what I looked like. I saw that I was a 98-pound, almost homeless, like
Mhm.
heroin addict, heroin and cocaine addict.
Mhm.
And here's the thing, people, you don't have to be a 98-pound heroin addict, cocaine addict to need divided attention.
Mhm.
You suck at life. Whoever you are, whatever day it is, however successful you are, I don't care if you're a billionaire, I don't care if you're the most famous
Mhm.
entrepreneur in the world, the
Mhm.
most famous celebrity, I don't give a fuck. Sorry.
I love it. Bring it. You don't give a fuck. And
You look at yourself, you float up and you see yourself, you will see the beast. Because there is a new reconstructed beast. You remember that movie RoboCop from the 80s where he like comes back to life every time like you kill him, but he just kind of like reconstructs?
yes. Uh-huh.
That is the beast. And he comes back, he or she, whatever gender you want to fucking give your beast,
Uh-huh.
comes back every single day. This idea that you hit rock bottom once and crawl into recovery or whatever, and then you're just made perfect up is such a lie. Enlightenment is a daily reprieve.
Mm-hmm.
Being the true version of yourself is a daily reprieve. Being a legend, being in excellence, asking the hard questions, and trying things that are scary to you today, not scary to you 10 years ago.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
People think they're so brave because they're doing something they thought was a big deal 10 years ago. I'm like, we all know, the gig's up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it
Mm-hmm.
stopped being scary and you're asleep.
Right. Don't you ask for you ask for I'm drawing a blank on the word, but in your meditation, like you want pain,
I
right?
don't. I don't ask for that. Someone maybe does.
Might not be the right word, but like you talk about in your book how much you've learned through the pain you have been through.
Yes.
The
Yes.
death of your mother at 6 years old, the death of your daughter at 4 months old, your addiction. I mean, your eating disorder, poverty. Had you not had those experiences, you wouldn't be where you are today. Is that what you believe?
No. I mean, I believe that that was my particular journey.
Yours. Yes, yes, yes.
I'm a really stubborn, super, super willful,
Hmm.
egotistical snot.
Hmm.
And so I created what I created so that I could wake up. And I don't believe there is a God separate from me that creates my life to wake me up. I believe I am one with that power and that I created a really fucking disastrous story so
Hmm.
that I would wake up in this life. Now,
Okay, thank
whoever,
you.
yeah, yeah,
That
but
was
not
well, you
everyone is as
explained that
willful as
much
me.
better than I did. I was like, yeah, that's what I was talking about.
I'm like, no, please don't give me any more pain.
Right. Fast forward, you and your husband have this amazing business together. You have gorgeous children. You live in Laguna, California. You radiate light. Do you have moments of, I mean, I know you practice gratitude every day, but are you like, what the fuck? This is amazing. I curated this life, and you believe everybody can curate this life.
Yes, everybody can. Everybody can. Yeah. Yes. I mean, the short answer is absolutely. I am very amazed at what I did there. Unfortunately, God is an expansive being, right? So, yes, I had several years to marinate in the shock of what the miracles that I beheld. Yes. And after I beheld those miracles, I was tasked with new miracles to create. And so I'm actually knee deep in some miracle making right now. And I don't even, as much as I'm very impressed with the Care Bear from outer space and what she pulled off there,
Yeah.
um, again, I would say for anyone listening, like if Mazel Tov, if you're in that phase where you're still celebrating what you beheld, great. But there is a what's next.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you're
Hmm.
still breathing, there
Yeah.
is a voice, there is a hunger and a desire inside you to do something else, more,
Mm-hmm.
to give, to love. To
Mm-hmm.
love. I read something the other day that I loved. It said, how many ways can I love God in this lifetime? How many places can I love God from? How many? And to me, I just, it's not up to us how many we decided on the front end. I just, I wrote such a big game, you know?
Yeah, I do know. I had the most incredible meditation experience I have ever had in the room with you. And you had us looking into the souls of total strangers, not saying a word. It was pretty awkward to start.
Mhm. Nice.
But I've never experienced that. It was like the energy in the room with all of these people who were wide open and willing to do this stuff. And can you
Mm.
explain kind of metaphysically, emotionally, spiritually, soulfully, like what happens in that moment and how can I emulate that? You know, it
Mm.
takes somebody who has a willingness to sit with you like that.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, this is the thing. This is the beauty behind the Fifth Way initiative is that Fifth Way is interpersonal meditation.
Mm,
It's meditation that is done with others.
mhm,
It is meditation that is done in active activity, right?
mhm,
So,
mhm,
yes, the gazing that you experienced is an example of how you learn to do it. And then once you really embody it and are inside of the Fifth Way training and really learn how to do this stuff,
mhm,
you get to take that into the world. And what I have found is that when you're able to be that present
mhm,
in interpersonal relationships, which by the way are the source of all of our problems,
mm,
right?
mhm,
Right? So to have a solution, to
mhm,
have a way of interacting with another person that is not transactional, that it comes from, can I find God in this person? Can I find love? Can I find forgiveness?
mhm.
And that is the difference. And it is a choosing. Like I was reading this thing about Jesus the other day. Sorry to just go so biblical today, but
No,
like,
love it, love it.
yeah, yeah. He was just, it was something about Jesus. And I've been reading this book that's written by Jesus in first person, which is like, what does that even mean? Only Care Bears from outer space would even buy a book like that, right? But I'm like,
Seriously.
sign me up. Okay. Like, I'll totally read a book written by Jesus in first person. Duh. Like, you have to be so
Mhm,
willing, right? Now, by the way, I want to be very clear. I'm very, very, very discerning and incredibly, I mean, con condemn would be a word I think alcoholics do. Like when
mhm,
we judge the world,
mhm,
we're condemning.
mhm,
When I look around me at the spiritual supermarket, I'm a no to pretty much everything. But you give me something true,
mhm,
and I can see I have the reason why people sign up to work with me one to one, the reason why people come to my group, the reason why people come to see me live is because I see the world as it actually is.
mm.
And you want to be around someone like that because it's contagious.
It is.
That's the truth.
Mhm,
It's fucking contagious.
mhm.
Anyway, so Jesus writes this book. Totally great. I'll share
Yeah,
it with you
I'll put
later
it
if
in the
you'd
show
like.
notes.
Okay.
Please share
Yeah.
this book
Yeah.
Jesus wrote.
And so Jesus wrote this book. And in it, he says, I'm just like you. He says, I'm no different than you. I have just practiced for years and years how to convert everything into love and forgiveness. Everything from my own hatred to
Mm,
my own wrath to my own
mhm,
resentments to my fears to my doubts. I have practiced with great willingness on how to ask myself, what would I choose now? If I
mhm,
could, how about I choose forgiveness and love? And I just think when I'll be gentle with myself, because there are times when I am like, this doubt, this fear is too much for me right now. And then I got to do some work to get back to that kind of choice. Oh,
mhm,
right. I get to choose forgiveness. Oh, wait, I get to choose love and expansion and miracles.
mhm,
Great. And then I return. But
Yeah.
sometimes for all of us, it can feel like too much, right? Like what we're being tasked with
Hmm.
here.
Yeah. And it is an actual shift that happens that I have experienced in my body when I shift the thinking too.
Mm-hmm.
That is such a powerful tool.
Yeah. What happens to you when you convert it?
I mean, it can feel like a lonely place because I'm not in a community. That's why I think the She Recovers experience was so powerful because it was in community with other people who
Mm,
didn't think what we were doing was batshit crazy. So maybe I'm not in the right communities, but it is. It's like
mm,
it's hard to be that raw and open and I think there is a protective mechanism sometimes that there are safe places to be that way. But a
mm,
lot of times, just walking around in the world can feel very overstimulating. And I feel like I want to put that protective mechanism around me, that bubble, so that that energy doesn't get sucked away.
mm,
So I feel most comfortable with that transformation in my own practice, in my basement, in my bedroom, in my car. Um,
mm, mm.
so it is more of a solo practice, which is why I wanted you on the podcast because I'm like, come on over to the other side, experience some of this. Because I was just thinking, and I listened to your audiobook because your voice is so soothing and so calming, and there are practical exercises people can do with journals and meditation, and it is a guidebook
Mm.
that I want people in my own life to try to follow because we will feel more connected and emotional and cut through the bullshit and the chit chat and the small talk and really listen and hold space and speak. And I went into our youngest daughter's basketball game the other night and it was packed, and I was preparing for our conversation and I was like, I'm going to walk in just feeling cracked wide open, like looking at
Mm,
all of these people as spiritual
mm,
beings and the can I mean, I think I had 20 hugs at that game from like kids and parents and
mm.
a child's teacher I hadn't seen in a while. And I was like, that was all because in that transition of going from my car to opening the door to walk into
Yeah,
the school, I made a conscious decision to say, I want to feel this energy and I want to feel connected to people.
yeah.
And I just showed up with all my armor off, but I usually can't do that.
Huh. Is that true, that last part?
Hmm, probably not.
I mean, you did it, so
Yeah,
it sounds like you can.
sure.
What would it look like? Like, what would your life look like if you showed up like that most of the time?
So emotionally and spiritually grounded. I was on such a high,
Yeah.
a natural high.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, that's the reason I did drugs, right? Because I wanted God so badly. And I couldn't remember that everything was God. I couldn't remember. It all looked like hell to me.
Mhm.
That's the weird thing, is that it's disguised. I think it was Mother Teresa who said, I look around at all of God's terrifying disguises or terrible disguises. Like someone said, like, what do you see when you walk the streets of Calcutta and
Uh-huh.
all these like
Uh-huh.
dying,
Yes, yes,
impoverished
yes.
people?
Hmm.
And she said, I just see God in all his terrifying
Right.
disguises.
Right.
And so, like, I think about our own life. And it doesn't matter if you're going to like your kids. I know for me as a mom, hanging out with other parents and like the stuff that we all have to show up for, all that stuff, or even when the kids are like bouncing off the walls and just
Yeah.
being batty as they will because they're like in these little bodies. I mean, it doesn't have to be so extreme is what I just really want to bring that home. It doesn't have to be you're wandering through the projects, someone's coming at you with a knife. It doesn't have to be so extreme for you to want to wake up and to also to recognize with lovingly when you're asleep,
Mm.
right? Like to observe myself when I fall asleep inside the dream. What am I asleep? That doesn't mean anything. Like when the bad witch comes and gives Snow White the apple
Mm-hmm.
and she takes a bite, the intention was to kill her, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
apple is meant to be poisonous, but you can't kill the soul. You can only put it to sleep. So there's really no danger here, right? If you read A Course in Miracles, it says there's nothing that can be harmed here. And I think of my life as a construction in heaven,
Mm-hmm.
like it's been constructed in heaven. And then it's just reflected here, like a hologram.
Oh my gosh.
So who can hurt you? What
Mm-hmm.
does it matter if you go to the game as fully exposed you? You're not even here.
Yeah.
And everybody that is there is you. They're one with you. It's all one hologram that's been constructed in heaven. And anything that isn't real
Mm-hmm.
isn't real.
Oh my
Like
God.
anything that's dangerous or
Yeah.
like, we're all freaked out. It's not real. Death isn't real. Tsunamis aren't real. Politics, not real. Now, listen, I'm not saying we shouldn't run from a tsunami or like vote for people.
Sure.
Yes, I'm all about being like a citizen, but
Mm-hmm.
don't believe in it like it's what's actually happening. Play the game, like send your avatar out to play the game. Okay, I'll have Biet vote for so and so, like, but it's not me.
I love that. Pop culture meets magic, meets music, meets all these layers of who you are and who we are. And I think a lot of it is peeling back the layers, especially those of us who are in recovery and addiction covered so much of that goodness
Yeah.
in my soul. At least it was so conflicted.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you mean? Tell me more.
It's like who I knew I wanted to be and who I was didn't match. That the saying of like my insides didn't match my outsides. And today I try to live more aligned.
Mm.
What I say and do, I show up and I do, rather than
Yeah.
pretending I was going to do those things and knew I never was because I couldn't follow through.
Mm. How do you do it? How do you follow through today? How do you like,
I mean, I say the mantra 15 times a day, just keep showing up.
mm,
Sometimes for me, it's like the simple words that give me permission to do what I need to do rather than the feeling of overwhelm, which is a feeling I think I have often, even in sobriety, because I feel everything. I don't get to mask it, or I choose not
yeah.
to mask it.
Mm,
So,
yeah. The feeling everything part is really
mm-hmm,
something. Thank God for my like somatic rituals and my breath work.
mm-hmm,
All those things have made it so much easier to be able to tolerate
yeah.
that much aliveness, right? Because
Yeah.
it's not for the faint of heart, this place.
Will you take us through a meditation as we close out here? I am so grateful for the time that you've given us, and My vision is that people are listening to this while they're moving their body, or they're using this as a meditation or a mindfulness practice. And there's so many um, amazing nuggets to hold on to, whether it's through your book or, I love just listening to some of your music on Spotify, and it's an awakening, and it really is something that I go back to often. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Sure, I'll totally
Yeah.
take us through a
Okay,
meditation.
thank you.
All right, well, everybody close your eyes if they aren't closed. I don't know if this is audio or video,
It's
but
both.
amazing. Feel free to close your eyes. If you're like driving, obviously don't do that. Please don't drive like on the 405 with your eyes closed. All right, and just taking a deep breath and asking God or source, whatever you call that light and frequency and quantum field that connects us all. I'm not religious at all, and yet I'm such a devout um, kneeler. I kneel before the greatness of this energy that I call God. And so just asking that energy to help us now. God, please help us. Universe, source, please help us. Please take away from us anything we think we know about this world and reality so that we can have an open mind and a new experience with miracles and a new experience with this reality. And let us meditate on trust. I want you to ask the question, what would it look like if I trusted that I was being carried to my full, entire vision and destiny perfectly? I want you to just visualize your life, yourself, what you will look like, what you do look like when you fully trust that you are being carried to your full expression, full destiny. And I want you to focus on the words beyond your wildest dreams, the beyond part. What, think of one thing that would be too good to be true if it happened in your life to you and blessed you and the world and your family in the way that beyond what you could imagine. What would be the one thing that's too good to be true? And then just asking source in this meditation, what if I soften? What if I allowed that to happen? Letting go of any cobwebs or fears that you're going to hurt somebody or let somebody down. And then just seeing the beast too, right? There's a gate in front of this beyond your wildest dreams life. And right at that gate sits the beast. And just see that. And that beast is there to protect you from soaring through the sky without a parachute, which is what it will take for you to live the life beyond your wildest dreams. And can you soften and just love this beast for all he or she has done for you, all these years keeping you alive? And then maybe just hug this beast and tell them that it's safe, that nothing here is real, only what you choose. And then taking this beast in your arms, almost like a little baby. I want you to visualize yourself jumping out into the abyss. Almost like jumping off the side of a building or something. Just something crazy. And as you jump off, holding this little beast in your arms, and you soar through the air, feel yourself safe and slowly descend into this beautiful destiny, the beyond your wildest dreams one, the one that's too good to be true for you. And just tell yourself it's okay. And as you land inside this beautiful destiny, look around. If you'd like, put your hands on your heart or your heart and your belly and just take in the scene. Work that doesn't feel like work. Open-hearted, connected to everybody, not better or worse. Just you, being you. Take a deep breath in. Release. As you come back into this reality, wiggling your fingers and toes. And if you're not driving, you can open your eyes now. Look around the room that you're in. While much of your destiny may have already come to fruition in your life, you've already accomplished so many things. You're already far down the road. Know that as you return from this meditation, you're coming back a new person, and the kind of person that can choose into flying off into that pseudo state. And give yourself that grace of being kind to yourself.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you, Biet.
Thanks, Callie.
And as we end every podcast episode, remember to tap into your passion and be the change that you wish to see in the world. Have an amazing day.